Well, hello. I'm here. I came late. Sorry I didn't listen to all your presentations. But Fatima Holman, gave an excellent presentation about our work with Doug and Chris Tompkins during 20 years in Iberá. So I will not repeat that part of our story. Basically, we develop a model in one area that is in the north of Argentina. And we are a tiny organization from one country. South America is not like Australia. We have many countries around with Doug and Chris. We also tried to make a binational park in Patagonia. That was our second challenge. I will not get into that, but working within two countries is really challenging with different cultures. And also, when Doug died, we tried to get into marine protection. So we get into the sea. But that's another story as well, complete different story. But now I'm willing to bring you our main and large-scale project that is, because of climate change, we understood that Iberá, that was an example of a succeed, because we have more than 20 jaguars there. We release them in free. This is a top predator of South America. When Doug asked me to reintroduce jaguars, for me was how I will do it, because we are ranchers in Argentina, we all eat meat, and bringing back the jaguar would be like very difficult. But I try. And today I can say we have almost 50 jaguars completely free. So the model was exciting. But jaguars started to show us that they love water, they love the rivers. So they started to move out of Iberá and started crossing to Paraguay, our neighboring country. And also during the pandemic, we were in Impenetrable, the dry region. Chaco is a very large ecosystem. It's cut by a river. The Bermejo River is like our Amazonia, tiny Amazonia in South America. And suddenly we saw a giant otter. This is an otter that was completely extinct in Argentina. And there's no otters like 100 kilometers north. So suddenly it was there during the lockdown of COVID. And we understood that rivers were still functioning. So our main lesson that we understood by these two examples of how wildlife lead the way is that we have also a big drought in 2022 and 2023, and we almost lost Iberá with a big fire. The same happened to Pantanal, the wetlands. It was a disaster. And in the Bermejo River, it was almost completely dry, and without water, wildlife cannot survive. So we started thinking where the water came to Argentina. Argentina is on the south part of a big basin, a big river basin, and we understood that we have to look up. You know that movie, Don't Look Up? Well, in our case, we should look up. And we realized that we don't manage our rivers. So that was a main lesson, that if you're working just in your place and you don't look up, probably you will lose all the resilience of the work you have been doing for years. And this is a tiny movie we started to inspire a movement, a new movement. It's basically taking action beyond borders, because Argentina is a country, a nation. It's very new. It's not an ecosystem. Ecosystem is basically our space, our territory, our place of action, and we need to look to the neighboring countries. So we decided we should go for more, scale up, and started looking for the continent, and how the continent, South America, works is through big basins. Let's see if this works. It's a little video that we make to inspire our neighboring countries and see if they are willing to work together. This for South America is very hard, no? Because we always look as the countries as our space. And we launched this initiative 6 months ago with Chris Tompkins, that's still helping us to promote South America. We joined Paraguay, Brazil, and Bolivia. They manage the upper basin, the Paraguay River, the Iguazu River, and the upper basin of the Paraná and Bermejo. And all together, we are willing to protect more than 6,000 kilometers of rivers. This is a lot. It's a very challenging idea. And let's see, there.
Where the mountainous spine of Patagonia and the forest lungs of the Amazon meet, here, in the vast expanses of the Paraná Basin, is where the heart of South America beats, with a rhythm of rivers and streams. Nothing works in isolation. Rivers are the testimony of this, carriers of sediments, seeds, and a plethora of fauna and flora. A force capable of carving landscapes and habitats in the most diverse of brushstrokes. Used as a gateway during the steady expansion of colonization inland, river systems have been cut to shreds. What was once ecologically binding became the dividing line between vast territories. The ecological devastation has carved deep cultural rifts, fueling rural poverty and hastening the exodus to cities. Urban centers have relegated their very source of subsistence to the peripheries, risking a fatal split. Many have departed, leaving few behind to protect what remains. Yet those who stay know and remember that they stand at the forefront of a different path. A path signaled by the tracks, the flight, the roar of those who have returned from the brink of extinction.
You know, back then, a small window of opportunity opened for this wild vision to emerge, of revitalizing the Iberá wetlands to bring back the jaguar after almost a century of its absence. And this, I thought, was the challenge of a lifetime. And 25 years later, I'm reminded again that whenever you have success with something, you have no choice but to keep going and expanding the boundaries of what's possible.
The time has come for taking rewilding to a continental scale. Amidst the great territories of Patagonia and the Amazon, the Paraná Basin spans over 6,900 kilometers, with the Iberá wetlands nested at its core. After more than 2 decades of rewilding, Iberá has become a pulsing source of biodiversity flowing upstream. Through the Bermejo and Pincomayo rivers to the west, where the dry Chaco forest climbs until reaching the misty subandean streams, to the Paraguay basin, where the turbulent waters meet the calm floodplains of Pantanal, and up the upper Paraná River, whose rapid spin until arriving at the breathtaking spectacle of the Iguazu Falls. The Paraná Basin acts as a common water thread, recreating strong transboundary partnerships, stretching through and beyond the horizon of northern Argentina to Bolivia, Paraguay, and Brazil. Led by South America's most iconic inhabitant, the jaguar, 4 leading grassroots NGOs have come together in a joint endeavor to launch the Jaguar Rivers Initiative and restore connectivity across the continent. At the headwaters in Bolivia, Nativa focuses on strengthening territorial management and forest guardianship by native communities in the face of a rapidly expanding agricultural frontier. At the upper course in Brazil, On Safari works with big landowners in the Pantanal region, co-developing alternatives to cattle ranching based on wildlife observation and jaguar coexistence. In Paraguay, a country traversed by one of the main rivers of the basin, Fundación Moisés Bertoni engages with companies and businesses working towards circular economies with sustainable water management. In Argentina, Rewilding Argentina works across 4 major ecoregions with governments and local communities. Together they restore ecosystems, create protected areas, and promote nature destinations that value wildlife and regional culture. The Jaguar Rivers Initiative will harness the original role of rivers as wildlife corridors. First, we will identify arcs, vast natural areas with healthy ecosystems that will become sources of wildlife and act as donors to other reserves. Together with governments and local communities, we will prioritize the protection of land, improve the arc's design, prevent illegal poaching and deforestation, and control invasive species. Second, we will establish stepping stones to shorten the distances between arcs, so wildlife find safety and shelter as they move along corridors. Through the Jaguar Rivers Initiative, we will inspire landowners living next to arcs and stepping stones to join this productive reconversion and adapt nature-inspired solutions like agroforestry and biodiversity credits.
As we face the turbulence and paralysis brought by the breakdown of our planet, I always come back to this. Hope has to be earned, and what we need right now is the kind of hope that can only be built from making bold moves together. Resilience flows here through the open veins of South America, a continent that, even when dismembered and neglected, still endures, pulsing surely as a river on its course to the sea. And it's here where the seed of hope is carried, where the people of the land form their bond to the deep beauty and intelligence found in nature, rewilding our very being.
The place is here. The time is now. Rivers map the way to the biggest picture possible. This is more than an act of resistance to the current trend of extinction. This is a quest for resilience, a journey forward into nature. Together, we can weave back the wild fabric that once held South America as one.
Well, basically, to present South America is a continent of rivers, and we choose rivers as our main wildlife corridor. The Paraná Basin, as you know, is where all the colonizations came, where all the grains go to Europe, and also support with meat every place on earth. So it's a very challenging project, and we know that with the landscape is under siege. We have these big fires, climate change. You have some numbers there. All the big rainforests are completely destroyed. And in 1 year, just 10 million hectares were on fire in Bolivia and Pantanal, just to make an example. But we think it is still time to turn the tide, and we need it. It's urgent. We have to embrace our vision, the scale of our vision, and we have to have the optimism that demands, and this is very important to move with all the teams. Usually when you present this kind of proposals, it looks like impossible, but our life became like turning impossible to possible, and this is how we do it. We have confidence that the context, the teams, the resources will come, because everyone wants ecosystem to drive. So the energy of the community, the energy of people always push us forward, and this is very important. You have to commit and then figure out. Why here and why now? Well, basically because we are in a crisis of extinction, and South America needs to join efforts between countries. The borders of our country were the rivers. Africa have a complete different story. In South America, we were split through the rivers, and now we have to join efforts along the rivers. Here we have the 5 rivers that we will work and restore. They are long rivers that come from the Andes, from the sea, together into the continent, and goes down to the La Plata River between Argentina and Uruguay. Those are the main corridors that we will restore, reconnect, and protect. And these run through 6 critical ecoregions. It's more than Argentina, but Argentina is turning little by little into continental scale. We are not anymore like Argentina. Nations are not anymore our borders. We think ecosystem is a focus that we wanted to work, and also rivers, because rivers is our connectors. So this is our mission. We partner with 4 organizations. As I said, it was Argentina that noticed that we were in the wrong place. We are in the south part of the basin, and we need Bolivia, we need Brazil, we need Paraguay, so we look to them and say, why don't we work together? As you know, this is very challenging because we have complete different cultures. We have different way of working. We need to have now new standards. We have to build a team that can run this as an umbrella over the 4 organizations. But we think that never is a moment. You know, you never have the right person to lead this. You think you are never ready to do it. But we need to learn, we need to push ourselves a little more, and we are trying to do that. If you wait the right moment, it will never get there. So we have trust that we will do it. It's a need. And how we are doing this, well, basically the 5 pillars is to protect the river system, to create this, we call it arcs because different countries have different categories for parks, but basically it's the strongest category. We also we will work with these landscape, these integrity areas around the arcs to enlarge the areas where community works. They don't own the land, they manage the land, and they need support for that. So we will be also helping with that. It's a new strategy for us to work with communities along very big landscapes. And also we will try to work with private owners, as On Safari is doing in Pantanal. So trying to join the private sector. Only in Argentina, 92% of the land is owned by landowners. So we need to learn how to work with them. We always have to push ourselves a little more and bring everyone to really design the best way to tackle, to change this crisis. We're in that position that design is very important. If we have to have the last battle, we have to choose the best design and really bring everyone to a big, broader vision. And we will try to work hard in governance and leadership because we know that we need a lot of teams and people that have all the skills put on this. So, bueno, I show you again the map. This is a vision. It's not there, but our outcomes for the next 20 years, because we are looking forward 20 years ahead, is to basically change the situation in the basin through these long-term outcomes. And within the short term, we want outcomes for the next 3 years. And basically is building 4 binational arcs. What I said, we are anchored through the rivers and we need to work together on both sides of the river. So binational arcs will be our task force to get to this wildlife corridor. So 4 binational arcs should be established in the next 3 years within the 4 countries. We have 4, so at least 1 per country. We will work with the Iberá Leadership School, so we can have, these are tools that we need for building this strong governance. We also have to have this early alarm system. We have to have technology behind us. And now we have a lot of tools of technology that should be applied to this because it's a very big scale. It's the size of, I don't know, the Mediterranean Sea, just to get an idea of the area we need to work. And we will use boats. This is a river system. We have to be in the territory, so we need boats everywhere along the basin, not only in the arcs, but along the wildlife corridor, to have the relationship with the species and with the people that live along the rivers. we left the rivers. We colonized South America through the rivers, but then we get into the roads, into the plains, so we forget about the rivers. And although there's goods coming in and out to Bolivia, Paraguay, nobody is there looking what is happening in the main corridors. And then we will try to protect and restore 7 populations of jaguars. We did it once in Iberá. We want to replicate and scale it up. We will do translocation. In South America, translocation is an idea that seems like crazy. Africa, North America is very easy to think about taking animals to one place to the other. But in South America, they're scared to put a collar. Imagine, we cannot collar jaguars. Imagine we are proposing to translocate them and to reintroduce species, top predators, in a new place where the people, the gauchos, have killed them, and we want to bring them back. And we think that in 2 years we could be guardian and monitor at least 2 of the 5 rivers. So this is basically what is a little bit the design here. But it's basically to put us a very high level of compromise within the 4 countries. But I think we really have to build tolerance to conflicts, to failures, as Tim said. It will not be easy, but conflict is part of our DNA. If we want to change things, we have to love conflicts in a way, but solve the problems and build the tolerance in all the team to really push forward and not be afraid of failures. We will have a lot of failures as well. Basically build this confidence that we can do it. I wanted to show you a little video how we are working after 6 months. This is a tiny video of how we were working in the ground.
A gente fala de fronteira, os homens definem a fronteira para algo que não existe para a natureza.
Lo que tenemos que reconstruir primero mentalmente es eso, que estamos trabajando en una sola unidad biogeográfica.
Que busca proteger, conservar y restaurar la cuenca del Paraná.
Entonces así es como se forma esta visión del Jaguar Rivers, los ríos del Jaguareté.
De poder quebrar essas barreiras, compartilhar conhecimentos.
Participan 4 países, Brasil, Paraguay, Bolivia y Argentina, bajo distintas organizaciones sociales representativas, todas articulando para un mismo fin, conservar la cuenca del Paraná.
Un río vivo es un río conectado y a la vez los ríos nos conectan. Por eso nosotros somos Ríos del Jaguareté.
Bueno, el Parque Alto Bermejo es parte de un sueño que se viene construyendo hace muchos años, que es Tariquí en Bolivia y el Parque Nacional Baritú en Argentina. Lo que pasa acá es fundamental aguas abajo hasta el río Paraná mismo.
Dentro de lo que es este gran paisaje Chaco Pantanal, ustedes pueden ver una belleza escénica del lugar sin igual. Son zonas de nacientes de agua que la comunidad local se sirve de eso, aparte de que hay una alta biodiversidad y bueno, son zonas grandes aún que están conservadas.
La ecorregión del Cerrado es sumamente rica en esta zona. Este paisaje es francamente para mí muy increíble. La forma que le da el río a la ribera, a esos acantilados impresionantes. Estamos viendo que tienen mucho potencial y muchas posibilidades de convertirse en un arca.
Bom, para a gente tentar imaginar o Pantanal, primeira coisa, a gente precisa de vir no Pantanal. Ele que é uma grande bacia de inundação, ele que tem esse pulso e secas e cheias, porque aqui você está armazenando vida em forma de água, em forma de espécies.
Estamos en Misiones, sobre el río Iguazú, la última isla de la Mata Atlántica, un parque binacional, pero el diseño que tuvo cuando se creó no pensaron en el río, solo pensaron en proteger las cataratas del Iguazú, que era un escenario fantástico para el desarrollo del turismo.
Quão pequeno nós somos nessa imensidão, mas que também a responsabilidade que a gente tem de que tão pequenos podemos causar grandes destruições.
Lo que antes era hermoso, sin todo espectacular bosque, hoy en día hay mancha, ya donde no existe árboles y netamente es a la agricultura.
Otras amenazas tienen que ver con la extracción de madera. Se ha ido sacando el cedro, se han ido sacando todas las maderas preciosas de estos lugares.
Primero también porque hay toda una situación social que es la falta de trabajo. Y también la tradición de salir a cazar el fin de semana, porque nuestro mayor enemigo en este sector es la caza furtiva.
Mas claro que nos últimos anos nós percebemos a intensidade dos grandes incêndios. O clima cada vez ele está mais quente, imprevisível, falta chuva, o Pantanal ele está muito seco.
Ese río que les digo que es el afluente del Pantanal nunca había secado antes. 2 años ha estado seco en temporadas.
Como que el jaguareté nos marcó el camino. El jaguareté nos mostró que usan a los ríos como corredores. Nos hizo darnos cuenta de que esos ríos ya no son límites entre países, sino que son conectores.
La necesidad de trabajar juntos es imperiosa. Creo que es algo que urge a las dos partes porque la fauna va y viene. De hecho, los jaguaretés indican a través de sus collares que un tiempo están allá, al otro día están acá.
Por eso también es clave esta unión y pensar el río desde las dos márgenes. Entendemos que ese jaguareté que está volviendo necesita territorio para moverse y ahí es donde juegan ese papel de corredor los ríos.
Es mais trabalhar com a parte de prevenção, não esperar acontecer para agir.
É um processo de introspecção que cada um de nós pode fazer para que a gente entenda qual é a nossa participação e o que a gente pode trazer de benefício para esse bioma tão importante para a humanidade.
Todos nosotros damos la vida, nos enfrentamos a cualquier, ya sea minería ilegal, a mineros que quieren entrar, a otras personas. ¿Por qué? Porque de esta área protegida todo el mundo vive.
Porque hablar de conservación en este tiempo también tenemos que hablar de la sociedad, ¿no? De qué van a vivir ellos y qué es lo que tienen que hacer para que puedan ir en equilibrio junto con el medio ambiente, ¿no?
Porque el desafío es tratar de reconvertir el uso tradicional de las tierras por algo nuevo, que es el turismo sustentable, el llevar adelante emprendimientos más amigables con la naturaleza, que no tengan como enemigo al jaguareté.
Nuestra concepción del río viene de hilar. Estamos conectando, creando esos pequeños cauces, ese pequeño camino. Hoy, más que nunca, tenemos que ser y somos los ríos del jaguareté.
Well, I bring this case because it's an example of how we need to scale up and need to really push ourselves in a very courageous way because nature needs us and we need nature more than what nature needs us. So all these leaders that are here really have to think that there's a big space to work and we need you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sofía. Thank you.